Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Chiron in the first house in a natal horoscope. As most of you know, Chiron is associated with the wounded healer. It's an area or element in our lives where we can strongly emphasize and accentuate with other people and encourage others to have improvement in that area in their lives, but we often are challenged and have difficulties in that same area that we're emphasizing for other people. Perhaps this can be attributed to overcompensation because we're emphasizing this in others, but we lack the ability often to do this for ourselves. Now, with Chiron in the first house, this could be a person that might have maybe the problems with their own outward demeanor, their personality. Maybe they feel inadequate with who they are. The person may deprive themselves of maybe as far as their own personal interest may go, perhaps. But this can be the person that may be able to instill the power of positive thinking in other people and maybe helping them as far as their outward demeanor, their personality, and their outlook on life. This person's outlook on life may not, may be somewhat. It could be. I could see this as being negative because the first house and this can be something that might need improvement because the outlook on life is connected with that first house and the rising sign, really. But still, it applies, and we can look at this and say, well, this person might be able to help others on their outlook and perhaps being telling people to be more expansive and optimistic regarding things. But at the same token, this person may be challenged in this manner. So a lot depends on, well, the house placement is actually more significant than the sign it resides in. The sign will play a role in maybe certain characteristics that maybe the person has difficulty in expressing as far as in their personality to some degree. Now, let's say we take Chiron in Aries in the first house, and this could be a person that might have difficulty integrating maybe assertiveness a little more and aggressive qualities in their nature and leadership capability. Now, at the same token, if this person also had Aries rising, that would help modify that ability because they would have those characteristics which would be readily expressed as far as their outer demeanor and personality goes. Now, let's take somebody that has Chiron in the first house and take the sign Taurus. Now, for Taurus, this could be a person that might be able to encourage others to have tenacity and have persistence and perseverance in their nature, and as far as their personality goes, and maybe encourage others as far as those, I guess we'd say, those characteristics go. But they might have difficulty in expressing them themselves. At the same token, if this person were to have Taurus rising, the same applies what I said for the Aries rising, that they would still have a little more ability to express it due to the fact the rising sign represents the qualities and characteristics that we can most readily or easily express. So really, I had read in some source one time that it stated that somebody with Chiron in the first house, I believe, would have maybe some noticeable or marks on the face that would be blatant and would obviously stand out. Now, I don't really necessarily agree with that because you're talking 1 out of 12 people would have some kind of like an indelible scar or something similar on their face, and I don't really see that, but maybe the possibility may increase with that, and you're free to offer your thoughts on this, especially if anybody's seen this has Chiron in the first or knows one or more people that have this placement. Really what it comes down to too is that this person does may have a strong ability to help with somebody's, I guess you could say, their their character, their personality, and any flaws or defaults that other people have, and is able to help rectify them and indoctrinate maybe a good, I guess, a more positive outlook on others' personality and their, I guess you could say, their outlook on life. But this person may have some problems in this areas that do need to work on. And sometimes these people may deprive themselves of their own interests in order to provide or give time for others' interests. And it's not to say that this person needs to be egocentric or anything like that, but they may need to put a little bit more time into themselves, for such as me time, as opposed to trying to help others as far as their personality would go and their outlook. So, and also the appearance. These people might help others as far as their appearance goes, but maybe and maybe talk to others about, as far as their first impression, making being meticulous as far as their dress at a job interview, for example. But this person may have problems doing this for themselves, perhaps at times, for example. So anyway, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Chiron in the first house in a natal horoscope. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about Chiron in the second house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because a person, astrologically, is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.